Hi folks, and welcome back to the plot. We've got another quick phone video today. I am loving making these. It just makes life so much easier. And today is a really good example of a day where I wouldn't normally be filming anything. I'm in a bit of a rush. I've only got about half an hour, maybe an hour if I can really push it. And the main thing I should be doing is getting started on this, the greenhouse base. But I don't really have time to get properly stuck into that, and I just need to come up, get the greenhouse cleared. And I was as well going to give the blackberry section a bit of a tickle, but I've forgotten the tripod base for the gimbal. So this is the blackberry bush down here. I might be able to do a little bit of that off camera, but there is as well a piece of really, really good news, which I'm really excited to share with you. But first, let's get in the greenhouse and give everything a quick water. It is really, really surprising to me how warm this greenhouse is getting. And I don't think I've watered it since Monday, which is actually when I recorded that video that went out on Monday. There's still lots of work to be done in here, but the peppers look okay. They can get seriously wilted. They're just looking like a little bit like they need some water. Look at this. These pods are really looking quite scary. I've harvested quite a few of those yet, and I've still been too scared to taste them. We've got some of these as well. This is the 7-pot bubblegum here. These are taking quite a while to ripen, and lots of them have been really, really small, like these ones up here. So it's not had the best plant, you know, the plant hasn't had the best time. In fact, it's got this really weird thing where, you know, all these little ones have they've gone red, but they haven't actually turned into fruit. Really strange. Anyway, I'm gonna get these watered, and then I'm gonna tell you my very, very exciting good news. So there we go. Everything's had a quick water. One thing to do towards the end of, you know, this end of the season is to be giving plants like your peppers a little bit less water. It just gives them a little bit of stress, and it's meant to kind of help make them a little bit more likely to ripen their fruits sooner. And one other thing that I do pretty much always do, but is kind of, I guess, even more important this time of year as the temperatures start to fall, is always leaving a watering can or two in the greenhouse so that when you do come to water them, the water is nice and kind of warmed up, and you're not going to shock the roots, which are already being kind of stressed by that lower temperature. I would add as well that I don't normally wait for this tap when I just go from the top, but that's more difficult to film. This tap really does take a very long time. So what's this good news? Well, there's two pieces really. The first, one that I'm very excited about, is that I have just ordered something from Amazon. Thanks to all the viewers who watch the channel, I finally started making a little bit of money through YouTube. And with the Ko-fi link that is in the description and the PayPal link, I've had some really kind donations recently, some quite big ones actually. A really, really nice surprise. And what that has allowed me to do is buy a fancy gimbal, not just for a phone, but for my camera. It was extremely pricey, but I've literally just ordered that today, and I'm so excited. Honestly, just having this little phone gimbal has it's just changed my relationship with videos a little bit. I get really excited to just kind of get out and get filming, and it feels so easy. I don't know what it is about it, but there's just something about it. Maybe it's just the fact that I don't have to lug a really heavy tripod all the way to the plot, but yeah, that's the first piece of good news. And the second is that hopefully very soon, I'm not sure how soon, this is no longer going to be my only growing space at these plots, because for a long time I've been on the waiting list for a second plot, or a second half plot, I guess. This is only a half plot that I have here. And the council sent me an email just yesterday letting me know that I am position 8 in the queue. And on these allotments, they're fairly confident that that means in the next round of offers, I will be being offered a plot. The question is, where will the plot be? It could be anywhere. Our site isn't massive. There are definitely bigger sites, but it could still be, I guess at most it's going to be a few minutes walk. I'm relatively central here, and best case scenario, it would be really close, but I don't mind if it's a little ways away. The ideal, I guess, is to have one right next door, you know, because then you get all the economies of scale. I don't have to build more compost bays or worry about anything like that. But if we have a look around, there's a couple that I've had my eye on for a little while. I suppose the absolute best case scenario would be that they give me this plot behind my plot. This is my new apple tree that I've just planted. These are my apple trees. And there's a very, I don't even think this is quite a half plot, this one. I think when my plot was split up, this person got a bit unlucky actually and got the short straw. But obviously if I could have this one that's just joined, it would be amazing. You can see it's a little overgrown, and I have chatted a few times to she's quite a young lady actually who has this plot, and she's really nice, we get on quite well, but she isn't around too often, and you can see it's a little, you know, it's a little neglected, so there's a chance that she might have given it up. Meanwhile, there are so many abandoned plots on this site, but there's a couple of other ones that are really close. And one of those is this one, just here, just across the path, with this strange corrugated structure, like a pig shed or something. But this plot has been vacant since I took mine on, and I've been on here for 3 years, and for whatever reason, this plot has never been given away. Someone has still kept this, and it is, you know, it's just across the path. It looks like it would be a bit of work, especially given that it's not been touched for so long. But when you compare it to what my plot looked like when we first took that on, you know, anything else feels like a blessing and like a piece of cake. Let me show you the other one. And the other one is here. I have a feeling that this might have been given to someone else recently, because I have seen some people on here that I hadn't seen before. But there was another young lady who had this. She was really lovely. We chatted quite a lot, and I tried to kind of give her a bit of help. A few people tried to help her out, but she just never had enough time. She was never here enough. She had some really bad luck as well. She kind of put in a little greenhouse just down here that did not survive a storm. You know, she hadn't put it up in time, and I think she's just been very disheartened. And this one would also be a lot of work because she never really got round to properly digging it over. You can see she's made some efforts, but I have a feeling that she might have given this one away. The one next door to this as well, just across there, I've not seen anyone on there for years, literally years. So that one might be up for grabs. And just next door here, this is the one that has recently gone to my new plot neighbour, who we don't see very often, and she really favours kind of perennial herbs. So she's got a lot of bushes going on. I did moan at the council because it was getting so overgrown and it was really pushing into my greenhouse. It really was on the council, like, can I please have this plot? Because it was just annoying how much work I had to do to kind of stop it encroaching. And it was right there, you know, it was right there for so long. I could have got a whole season's growth out of there probably. But I'm saying that as if I'm the most active person ever, and my plot is never neglected. And if you've ever watched a video of mine, you know that isn't the case. But yeah, that is really good news, isn't it? Hopefully it's close. If not, you know, that's fine, that's fine. There is one other thing I wanted to show you that I'm a little bit concerned about. I've literally just spotted it. Now, this has got me a little bit worried. In here, this is my manure. And I've done a kind of, well, a very rough bean test. These are some field beans, and they did take a while to germinate, but they're here now. But you can see, hopefully, there is some dieback of the tips. You can see they've gone black as well, which it looks sort of like they've been frost nipped, but these are a hardy plant, and I don't think they should be looking like that just from a little bit of frost. And this might be a sign that there is some aminopyralid contamination. And this is why it is so important to do a bean test, because I was just a few weeks away from spreading this manure on the beds, and it's really tempting to just think, oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. But sometimes it isn't fine, and especially if you're, you know, getting manure for the first time from a new source that isn't necessarily trusted. It's just so essential to do that test. So I'm going to go away and look at it, but do let me know in the comments what you think. Does that look like aminopyralid contamination? Is that the kind of the dieback? Either way, I'm a little bit worried, and I certainly won't be putting anything on my beds until I'm certain that it's safe. I've just spun you around. This is quite a funny one. In my last video, I was asking if anyone knew what these plants were, and straight after asking, I finally found the video. When I did this this little kind of autumn sowing of rows, there's a few in here. There's actually some pak choi seedlings down here. You just can't quite see them. Yeah, there's a few in there. It could do with a weed, couldn't it? But yeah, I finally found the video of me actually sowing this stuff, And it turns out they are turnips. There were a few people that said turnips, but I was convinced it wasn't because they weren't bulbing up. And just next door, I had these. And I thought, well, these are the turnips. So the one next door can't be turnips. Do you know what this is? This is a radish. A radish about 10 times the size it is meant to be, maybe 5 times. But yeah, I think I might have left this one in the ground a little bit too long. I was saying just the other day that I don't tend to label my things and I just shoot videos and it's fine. And it is fine until you lose the videos or forget where you've put them on your computer. Let's have a look in here. Are there any turnips? You can see these are planted way too close, and I never bothered thinning them because I thought these are a green, because I'm an idiot, and I'm not too sure how these are going to have fared. Yeah, they're so densely planted in here, but this is just the first one that I've seen poking its head out of the soil, so oh god, yeah, they are dense. I should have thinned these out much earlier, but it's the best way to learn, isn't it? You only make this kind of mistake once. Now I know what turnips look like, and oh, it's so silly, isn't it? I feel like Tony when he was doing that video on his tomatoes earlier in the year, absolutely losing it at these turnips. So stupid, but yeah, like I say, hopefully it is. One of the great things about doing these slightly quicker videos and uploading them quicker as well is that I can ask you guys for tips and ask you things like, do you have any idea how I can start to ripen these squashes a little bit quicker, because they've been that size for so long now and they're just not doing too much. I've got a turban squash over here. It was actually the only one out of 2 plants, so I think a bit of fertility issue. It's down here and amongst all the kind of flowers and the weeds. You know, that's been that size as well for a really long time. So any tips on A, the squashes, and B, the turnips, please do let me know what you would do. Would you is it worth thinning out those turnips now, or should I just leave them? And is that one that was kind of poking out the surface, is that ready to harvest? I think maybe they should be a bit bigger, but I'm not sure if they're going to get any bigger when they're all planted that close together. Oh, it's embarrassing, isn't it? Anyway, I love making these short little videos. I'm feeling really, really great about it, despite the plot looking like it needs so much work. I've got a weekend ahead of me now, so I'm hoping I can get some really good kind of time in, get stuff looking a bit nicer, a bit weeded, and most importantly, start on this greenhouse base. Thank you ever so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.